Hello and welcome to another video. And this video we're going to be talking about how the Trump administration want to bring back slavery. Yes, and you hear me right. Yes, slavery. They just want to bring back slavery. And they it's a conversation in the beginning of this video. It's a conversation that is happening between two members of the Congress and how they can just bring back slavery. Can you guys believe that? Yes. In this conversation, I will show you in a minute. They are talking about how they can bring to the United States back slavery, and then we just gonna just listen because it's gonna be really good.
Okay, so I got the transcripts. Mitch, we have to bring slavery back. Those were the good old days. Kevin, how will we do that? There's no way we can do that. Mitch, black people won't do it, but white people will. Kevin, how will we get white people to be slaves? That sounds ridiculous. Mitch, we have to get rid of the separation of church and state. We must have state-funded religious schools. Kevin, I don't see where you're getting at. Mitch, those schools will have work programs for 4th through 8th graders. Kevin, I think I see where you're going here. How is that going to work? Mitch, we get the kids to pick all the produce as a part of their work program to teach them the values of good old-fashioned blue-collar labor and the bounty of God. Kevin, I don't think that anyone will go for that. Mitch, it's all about grooming. Start in the 1st grade, and by 4th grade, they'll be ready to do it. Kevin, but we already have people to pick the produce. Mitch, we have to finish the wall. Kevin, no way that's going to happen. Mitch, we find better ways to get the immigrants out of the United States. Kevin, like doubling ICE. Mitch, yes. Kevin, this will be too hard, and we'll be too busy trying to sustain this over long periods of time and generations. Mitch, no, we get rid of the abortion laws in the United States and we make it mandatory that all 8th grade females be impregnated in order to graduate. Kevin, like replacing the crops. Ha ha ha, pun intended. Also, Kevin, I will work on getting the abortion banned. You work on state-funded religious schools. Mitch, we don't have to do either. Lindsay and I took care of that with the new SCOTUS.
And do you guys heard that? That's just crazy. They just say black people will not do it, but yes, we can make white people to be slaves. This is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. And the thing is, just we consider that it is ridiculous what they are talking about, but they are really thinking about that. They just thinking who can be the new slaves. And just stay towards the end because President Trump said something in the few days ago that is like he just want the illegal immigrants to be slaves of the farmer workers, something like that. Stay towards the end.
Dookie Booty and his administration are trying to bring back slavery. Slavery, y'all. Every time I hear one of Dookie Booty's new plans, I just want to... So they want to detain undocumented immigrants working on farms, then release them back to those same farms with their employers as their sponsors. So they wouldn't have any path to citizenship. They wouldn't have any hopes of becoming a part of the country that they're helping to feed. They would just be working under the threat of deportation and their employer having them on a leash. Does that sound familiar to y'all? Well, it should, because after slavery, they had sharecropping and convict leasing, where they had black people tied to the land, working under white landowners who controlled their entire lives. Sounds like slavery to me. So convict leasing is where they would arrest black men on petty crimes, and then they would lease them out to plantations and railroads, and their bosses could beat them under the watch of the state. So now they want to do the same thing to immigrants. They want to catch them, then release them, let the farmers take charge, but don't give them any chance of getting citizenship. The farmers ain't going to be paying them nowhere near close to what they were paying them before. Of course, the immigrants are scared of getting deported. So they're keeping them scared, and that's how they keep them under control, to keep doing slave labor. Half of our farm labor workforce is undocumented. So they harvest all of the food that we fucking eat. So they feed us. And instead of looking at them as fucking human beings, these motherfuckers want to look at them as just objects and tools to use for labor. When you take away a person's freedom, force them to work, and don't give them no type of fucking future, you're no longer exploiting them. That's full-blown fucking slavery. Plain and simple. All I know is we can't let history repeat itself. So everybody better start speaking the fuck up. And when it comes time to vote in the midterms, everybody better have their funky ass out there voting. All y'all that decided y'all didn't want to vote for Kamala, y'all want to sit this one out and protest, none of that fucking shit. Everybody better have their funky asses out there voting when it comes time for these midterms. Because shouldn't nobody be treated as property. Not then and not fucking now.
In the case of good, reputable farmers, they can take responsibility for the people that they hire and let them have responsibility, because we can't put the farms out of business.
You can stay in this country, but only if a rich white man says you're useful to him. We've done this before. It was called the Bracero program, and it exploited millions of Mexican workers. Before that, it was called indentured servitude. Before that, slavery. Trump's plan lets undocumented workers stay, but only if a farmer signs off on them. If not, deported. The farmer messes up, deportation. No rights, no protection, just a leash.
We've had people that have worked on farms for 20 years. It's very hard to go in there and say, you know, you're coming out. But we're going to let the farmers take responsibility. They're great people. They'll do it. They know the good and the bad.
He's not praising them. He's objectifying them. He likes that they work hard and stay quiet. Workers tied to one boss, no freedom to leave, and no pathway to citizenship. A terrified labor force, completely dependent on their employers who profit off of them. He's not fixing anything. He's codifying exploitation. This is about power, control, cheap labor. If you're okay with this, you're okay with slavery.
I just saw a clip of Donald Trump talking about how he's going to offer all of these U.S. farmers that have been here for 15 years that he would be normally deporting, which he is going to be deporting them, but he's now allowing them to come back and work for the farm owners and be owners of these people and take care of these people and have these people work for them and get benefits that non-citizens wouldn't get, but they still don't get citizenship. They're just here to work for people, to provide food for us. This sounds a little like something we've been through before.
We're going to work something where the farmers can be responsible for some of the people that have been. They have people around for 10, 15 years that they know very well. We're going to put them responsible. And we're going to issue a form of a card or document, and the farmer's going to be responsible for these people. They're not going to have citizenship, but they'll be working, they'll be paying taxes. We need to get our farmers the people they need, otherwise our farmers aren't going to be able to do their land. You know, it was tried once before, many, many years ago, where there was a very strong guy, and he got everybody out, and every farm almost in the country, but every farm in California, every farm in Iowa, almost all the farms went bankrupt. They had nobody to work, and we don't want to have that situation. So we're going to work it. We're going to put our farmers and others in charge of the people that they have under them. They know the people, and I think it's going to work out really well. We're going to take care of our farmer, but we're going to get the criminals out, okay?
Trump is proposing slavery to the immigrants who don't want to be deported. So what about the ones who never made it past the oceans, allegedly? What about the ones that they built the death trap for in Florida, alligator Alcatraz? And what about the ones who just was a matter of just getting their visas extended? All that they might have had time to do if they were allotted the time to up until September like they were supposed to, because everything else was done unlawfully. All the deportations were illegal because their time wasn't up to be able to, they didn't get due process simply. But if you think that slavery ends there, because the way it's going with the amount of people out of work, the homelessness, their benefits, all that stuff, the way all of that's going, yeah, just what was the intent? To make America great again. To me, it looks like make America white. Not again, because they weren't the first one here. So, yeah. Why we can't all get along? Why we all just can't love each other? And then to have the word mega Christians come out the same mouth as mega. How can God be pleased with this? How can God be pleased with this? How can you call yourself a Christian? So, I don't see make America hate again. I don't see.
Donald Trump cannot win. This whole fight on tariffs, he doesn't realize you can't win this fight because the American economy has never in world history done anything without slavery. Basically, we need cheap labor. We need labor that is oppressed. We need labor that has no rights. That is the only way this has ever worked. So when he says we've got to produce in America and everyone's just like, we can't do it, it's because we have never even tried to figure out an economic system that exists without somebody being the new slave class. If you go back to the roots of America, right? Go to the American Revolution. Yay, we win. And then what happened? The country went into a serious depression. That's what they left out of the history books. So we always talk about the Great Depression and FDR, how he, rallied the troops and the New Deal. The first Great Depression was in the aftermath of the revolution. The country was destroyed by war. The country no longer had Britain to back them up. We no longer had the British as a trade partner. And all those British territories, like in the Caribbean, Southern planters couldn't send their crops there anymore for sale because the British are not messing with you no more. The country was in a depression. What pulled it out? Slavery. Slavery was actually dying. And then all of a sudden in 1793, the cotton gin gets produced and it's like, whoa, we have new life. And so the same field hands that go out and pick cotton, they're now like 300 times more productive. And so all of a sudden, America figured out we can flood the world market with cheap cotton because we don't have to pay the labor. And all of a sudden, America goes from a few dusty tobacco plantations on the East Coast to a major world economic power because 7/8 of the world's cotton supply comes from the United States of America. We never were going to figure this out without slavery. It was a dying experiment of a new country without slavery. And so you fast forward, all of a sudden, we're in a situation now where Donald Trump wants to figure out how to do everything the American way. And people are like, that's not even an option, bro, because we don't know how to do this without slavery. The capitalist system that we have has quite literally never worked without a slave class. And so when people talk about the immigrants, we need them to pick the strawberries. Who else is going to pick the strawberries? If they don't do it, strawberries are going to cost $80. Yes, because we have never even tried to imagine an economy without slavery. And so a lot of people get worked up when people talk about slavery. And why does everything have to be about slavery? Because the American story is about slavery. You don't have an America without slavery. The whole thing is slavery. From the White House to the insurance companies to the universities, every part of this, the first mortgage products, the first insurance product, Lloyd's of London, what was it? Marine insurance. What were they insuring? So again, Donald Trump is finding out the hard way that you mean to tell me we have an economy that can't exist without slave labor? Yes, that is exactly what we built. And it takes a real reimagining to undo that. It takes something beyond saying, let's build some factories here. We have to fundamentally look at how this system is built. What were the foundations of this system? And are there corrective measures? Because at present, all we got is slavery.
And I don't know if I completely agree with this guy that is saying the American, just comment below if you agree with him, because he just said the American economy cannot be successful without some part of the society being a slave. In the slavery time, they did it because they could, okay? But it was some cruel practice. It wasn't just black people that were slaves. It was a lot of other people that were slaves. The Jewish were slaves for a time. The Sicilian were slaves for a time. It's a lot of people, and they are not all black that they were a slave. Okay, it was a practice that it was done in different societies and different countries and different empires, okay, for advance the economics of the masters, okay. And yes, but he's just saying that the American society or the United States cannot be as successful as they need to be if it wasn't because of slavery. What do you guys think? That this is true, or he's just making the stuff off? Just make sure that you comment below.
Trump just said they're going to take the immigrants that they round up and give them to the farmers. And the farmers will be responsible for the immigrants. And they'll be given things, and they'll be allowed to pay taxes. They just won't be given citizenship. But all the farmers will be in charge of the immigrants. That's indentured servitude. That's literally slavery. Trump is rounding up immigrants so that he can have them work the farms, but have the farmers have total power over the immigrants. He said this on his tour of Alligator Auschwitz. And what the living shit? He's bringing back slavery, guys. He's bringing back slavery.
All right, are you guys happy now? All you MAGA supporters? All the Let's Make America Great Again people? I'm pretty sure Trump is trying to enslave people again. Owner responsibility? Yeah, slavery. Okay, Mr. Oompa Loompa himself, coming in hot from Florida Alcatraz, is now imposing a way around our undocumented workers. Farmers have the option of ownership. That sounds a lot to fucking slavery to me, bro. Like, I get that you want your options, but I'm pretty sure having the farmer own you isn't one of them. All while you're still paying taxes, but have no legal rights here in the United States. If this doesn't start a civil war, I really don't know what will anymore. Between concentration camps, now slavery, no women's rights, what's next? I feel you, Lady Liberty. I'm gonna shake my head too and hide my face. Definitely not proud to be an American today.
And yes, and with the concentration camp, there is the alligator Alcatraz jail, where they are planning they are already taking some illegal immigrants, even a minor. It was a 16-year-old that they find out that a 16-year-old was just took to the concentration camp in the middle of the Everglades, Florida, where around that jail or concentration camp, it is alligators in there, okay? So he wants, and it's happening right now. Actually, it is happening. These people is taking those people that have been working on the farms, and they are deporting it. But instead of deport them to their countries of origin, they are just taking them to prison cells where they work for $1 a day. This is truly happening here in the United States. Okay, they are not deporting people. They are keeping these people for months at the time, And instead of just deporting them, no, they are keeping them there and paying them, making them to work and paying them $1 a day. So this is modern day slavery that is happening to these illegal immigrants when they are just leaving the country. I'm just not saying that it's anything good to just do the I don't think that it's any good when you come to the country in an illegal way, but we also have to be fair, we also have to be human, we also have to be kind. And if we are just going to deport some people because they are illegal on the country, like he said, it's not like they committed a crime. It's not about crime, it's just about cruelty. Just take them back to their countries, but don't put them to work for you for $1 a day. Okay, it's just modern time slavery, and they just want to bring they just want to make these people to be their slaves. Stay towards the end.
So Trump is trying to bring slavery back, or like a form of indentured servitude. He's just said multiple times. He said it yesterday at the concentration camp in Florida. He said it yesterday during his like pre-America 250 speech. And he said it again on the fucking tarmac. Long story short, Trump is talking about having a program for only back-breaking labor when it comes to visas and migrants, right? And he keeps talking about how, like, oh, the farmers, we really care about the farmers, so we want to pass on ownership of the workers to the farmers. And he said the same thing about hotels and like leisure sites. So he's talking about like maids and farmers and gardeners and like he's calling them seasonal workers. He's even got his like head of the agricultural department talking about, yeah, we're doing this new program where we're only going to be welcoming migrants who are doing seasonal work, and then they're going to be like the responsible owner is like the farm owner or like the hotel manager. We're talking about slavery. Sure, yeah, we're gonna pay him. Motherfucker, that's still indentured servitude. You're talking about only allowing people into this nation for backbreaking labor, and then they go, yeah, we want to have a completely legal, like labor force. All migrants, all brown people? What? Bros. I understand. And then the Patriot Games? Why is nobody talking about Trump? Trump just said today is the start of a year-long celebration. Like it's fucking Rome. Like when Caesar's like, oh, we're gonna have a 2-year-long games in the Coliseum. And then the Patriot Games, where they're gonna get like the best high school athletes to represent each state. Guaranteed they're all gonna be white and fucking blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and it's gonna be like a celebration of caucasity. Dudes, the speed in which this shit is going on is so important. And I already know. I know my comments are going to be full of fucking MAGA chicks going, oh, why are you telling me you fucking hate America? I fucking love this nation. I hate our leadership. A man can love his nation and hate his government. They are not intrinsic. Dio dammi la serenità di eccitare il coso che non posso cambiare, il coraggio di cambiare il coso che posso, la stanchezza di capire nella differenza. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna make our way through this. We're gonna be okay. The Patriot Games.
So we just make it towards the end of this video, and what do you guys think? What do you guys think this whole situation that is happening in front of our eyes? Okay, this is just happening. We are not able to avoid it, and it's just crazy. And I cannot even believe when they're talking about modern day slavery, how they just doing the people, the Latinos, okay, the immigrants, to be the modern day slaves. What do you think about that? Just comment below. And the Latinos voting for this craziness, okay? What do you guys think? Okay, just let me know in the comments below, and please don't forget giving a like comment, and subscribe. Help us to grow liberal media, okay? The MAGA nuts have all the subscribers, but the liberal media doesn't grow as much as the MAGA media. So just make sure that you give it a like and subscribe. So you guys take care. Thank you. I love you guys very much. Bye.